My intro again because the mic was like echo, like it was like making a beeping noise. But a massive thank you to James for making a new brand new DWE logo, and done look fantastic. He made the intro as well. His Instagram is always in the description. Massive thank you to him, and like go show him some love. He's super talented. Like comment what do you think. Do you like the new logo? It'll be up on screen. And also today the Swans colours are out because we're talking about the fan experience, comparing supporting a team when they're in the Premier League with supporting a team when they're in the Championship, the good, the bad, all that good stuff in this video. So like, subscribe for more, and we're 290 subs. Can we get to 220? I'm one sub off 220, so let's get it and get in to the video. As well, I'm pretty sure they're going to announce a lockdown, and like Barber's been shut for like a couple of weeks now, so I can ignore the lockdown trim. First off, let's start with the quality of matches. Right, in the Premier League, the big difference you notice, and I have a season ticket in Championship, I've been to countless Premier League matches with Swans. So Swans actually play quite nice football, that's why we're doing so well in the Championship this year. But Premier League teams, there's a lot. Do you think Burnley's bad? I can name about 6-7 Championship teams that play like Burnley, if not worse, when they play with a 5-back. And so, Premier League, the quality of football in the Prem is a lot better to watch. If you, from a neutral point of view, if you had to go to the liberty to watch a Premier League game over a Championship, Premier League game, the quality, the level of players, the calibre of fitness, all a lot better in the Prem. Right? And I think that's quite a given. That is why it is the top division. Lovely sip of a signature cup of tea. I'm going to be the first YouTuber that has a tea company. Remember that. And literally, yeah, so I'd say Prem, but entertainment value. Right, this is where I prefer the being in the Championship, supporting the Championship. You've seen it with the Premier League this year. Everyone's saying the Premier League is the most entertaining it's ever been this season. Do you know why? No crowds have affected it massively. But in this division, in the Prem, now everyone can beat anyone. Like we saw it, like West Brom got a point off City. You know, we've seen teams getting battered by teams that should never happen. Teams like West Ham, Southampton, Everton, all flying really high, when in hindsight they probably shouldn't. And it's like the Championship every season. With crowds, you know, any team could beat anyone. Like, Watford lost to Wickham. Wickham, probably, I think they're still bottom, not too sure. But, you know, they had no wins. Watford was top at the time, I believe, and Wickham slapped them 2-1. And like that's why, and like you've seen it with Liverpool. You know, we nearly lost to bloody Fulham. They've got, you know, and also, you know, Aston Villa beat them 7-2. Like, what is going on? It's a crazy, crazy time. And the Championship, the entertainment value is a lot better. And because teams in the Championship played a lot more scrappier, you know, that sort of football, it did create more entertainment. There's a lot more red cards in the Championship. Maybe not as much this season, but definitely when there's crowds. Oh, there was always handcuffs, handbags, whatever you want to call them. Which obviously, when you're in a match and the crowd gets all riled up, it is quite entertaining. Because all the crowd goes, oh, go on, get into him, all that stuff. So you do get a lot of that in the Championship compared to the Premier League, where Premier League's a lot more professional, so to say. And another thing in terms of entertainment value, I'd say with the Premier League, it's really good if you're an underdog. You know, you like Swiss Swans were saying we were like 15th, 14th, 13th, around then most seasons when we did well. And say now we've beaten Arsenal or Man United, they're absolutely amazing. That's what you cannot recreate in the Championship. You never get the buzz of, oh, we shouldn't have done this team. We've just done this team in our own backyard. That should never have happened. Because in the Championship, anyone can beat anyone, and we all know it. It's a given. But I will say, with the Championship, you don't see as much in the Prem. Especially with Swans, we rely on loan players. We rely on Cooper bringing in young talent on loan for a season. You see a lot more loan prospects in the Championship, and it's not just for Swans. You know, Harry Wilson, Mason Mount, they broke out the derby at first. You know, for the Swans, we've had Rodon come through, Dan James, McBurney, Brewster on loan, Gallagher on loan. Like, Gallagher's doing well for himself at West Brom. See, Brewster's a shame what's happened to him. I think he'd be brilliant at Swans if you could get him back. You know, look at Mount now. Obviously, Chelsea have been playing bad recently, but you know, he's in that Chelsea team. Tammy Abraham broke out at Aston Villa on loan in the Championship. So the Championship is the place for the best breeding ground for young players. I'd definitely say that. Like, if you're a young player right through in the Prem, that just shows you the sheer talent you have. But if you want to learn the physical side, obviously the Prem's quite physical, but the Championship different level. So we see this young talent firsthand. We know what we're doing. So yeah, and like Cantwell Championship, Ollie Watkins broke out in the Championship, Said Benrahma. You know, I can name hundreds of players. But another thing, atmosphere, right? This is the biggest difference I found from supporting Swans when they were in the Prem, supporting Swans when they're in the Championship. Believe it or not, the atmosphere is a lot better in the Championship. Away days, like the sort of home matches, I haven't been to many away days, but home games, right? Swans atmosphere, cause like it's more competitive, and like Prem, we're either getting smashed or we're doing well. There's no in between. So the fact that the Championship, we're more comfortable. Obviously, when you're winning games, the atmosphere is better under Liberty. And I can remember one time in the Premier League, Bob Bradley era, when he first came in, and we were rife against the Yanks. Before kick-off, you was booing. There's get out of our club, get out of our club, you greedy bastard, get out of our club. You know, there's so much negativity and toxicness. And obviously, if you're hearing that even before kick-off, what the player's going to do on the pitch, it's obviously going to trickle down to the pitch and affect their performance. But in the Championship, it's bouncing, because also, there's a lot more tourist fans, I'll call them, in the Prem. People who say, now, there's nothing wrong with supporting a team that's not in your city. But like, you know, if you support a big team, but you sit in the Swans end to see Chelsea, say now you're an Arsenal fan, Arsenal play Swans in the Prem. You want to see Arsenal play, you want to see these big players play. Man City comes down and United, I know. So they are like tourist fans, I say. Nothing wrong with it, but like it's less of an atmosphere because you have more of them there in Premier League games than Championship. And because there's less plastic fans as well, the Championship is more the core, the die-hard fans. The atmosphere is actually, it does get really good. And I think it's the same for a lot more Championship clubs. I think it's a lot better in the Championship. But obviously when you win in the Prem, so you're beating a big team, there's nothing like it. But for the most part, the Championship is a lot better atmosphere. Especially when we're in relegation, oh my god. If you go down to Liberty, it's absolutely toxic. It was horrendous. A lot of fans just yelling abuse like you've never heard before. Booing around the stadium, it does have an effect. It does take a toll on people. So definitely the Championship is a lot better for atmosphere. And now, the big thing I do want to say about this Championship, when your club goes down to the Championship, I'll say like with Swans, especially with Swans, we don't have money to spend. That's why we get so many people on loan. We do make big profits, but it don't go into the club team. And because of that, we rely on our academy, we rely on local talent. And like, look in Swans, you have people like Lee Trundle, Leon Britton, infamous. Lee Trundle, he visited probably every school in Swansea. Everyone who lives in Swansea have probably met him. I'm being serious. Since we've gone down to the Championship, I do feel like Swans have done a lot better. It feels a lot more like a community club than a business. I feel like most Prem teams feel so distant from the community, from their fans. You know, there's a lot more fan interaction, a lot more community stuff they do. Before COVID, a lot more meet and greets they put on for Swans when they went down, and the players, they interacted a lot more with fans, because they come up through the academy. People like Roberts, Garrick, Byers, Rodon, especially Rodon, Joe Rodon and his brother Sam. They're all in Sam Rodon. He's always in Swans football Twitter, and it's a lot more community, close, tight knit feel in the Championship. And when you get that bond of a club, a close, tight-knit feel, and you're all there, you all got one goal, and that is to get up, it does give you a much bigger advantage than a massive organisation that don't have that community feel like some of the big teams in the Prem. And honestly, it does play a part. And for value for money, I'd say like my season ticket was in the family stand, and when I had it, I was under 18, so I didn't pay adult price. But 90 quid for a season ticket, I was 16, 17. So 90 quid for a season ticket. Family stand, yeah, that's fine. I'll say I'm not bothered if I'm in the East stand with all the hooligans or the family stand. See, it's better atmosphere by the hooligans. But like, at the end of the day, my main aim of going to Liberty is to watch my team play in the flesh, in the eyes. So, you know, 90 quid. 90 quid for what, there's like 23 home games, 22 home games in a season. It don't get better than that. Well, the Premier League, I'm imagining it being around 150 quid. So it's a massive price difference. So value for money, supporting Swans in the Championship, a lot better. And away days, I think, are cheaper as well. You don't have to quote me on that, but I remember going up to Arsenal was a hefty trip. You know, especially go to big clubs, it's more expensive away tickets. The only con I would say now about the Premier League compared to supporting a team in the Championship is that the big game feel isn't there. It's like it was there when Leeds were in the Championship. It felt like a big game. Villa, obviously Cardiff. Well, you do miss that big game feel where you're like, oh, right, we got United today. We got a chance of beating these giants. We've got Liverpool today. We can absolutely kick their ass. Remember when Swans went down, but they beat Liverpool at home? Fantastic feeling. It was like a Monday night game. I went with my good mate. Amazing. One of the best nights of my life. And like Alfie Mawson with an amazing last minute block. But so you do not have the big game feel unless it's a cup. That's, I say, the only disadvantage. But for me, I actually prefer, obviously I'll support them in both, I support them as equally, as much. But it's more fun, value for money, and better atmosphere in the Championship. So let me know, do you agree or disagree with them statements? What do you think? I want to hear your opinion if you're a fan of a big club, fan of a small club, fan of whoever, League 1, League 2, Conference, Vanarama, National South, the Premier League, Bundesliga, Ligue 1, whatever. Let me know. And that's it for watching. Thank you, like and subscribe. We're one subscriber off 220. So let's get that 220 sub. I'll see you all in the next one.